What's going on, my fellow A-plusers? Welcome back once again to a brand new episode. It is I, your Morphinominal host, Adam Perez, back once again as we're going to get into Zenkaiger episode number 21. Actually, was really looking forward to the return of Zenkaiger. I didn't know with the Olympics and things like that going on how many hiatuses we were going to get or how many weeks off. So the quick turnaround to me was certainly appreciated, to certainly say the least, because I ended up actually really enjoying episode number 21 here. I know I'm not always the biggest fan of upgrades, but what they certainly did in here, balancing it out with some other aspects in this episode that I really enjoyed that we'll certainly talk about. This was a fun one for me. I really appreciated the effort that they certainly put into it, especially with some of the themes, how they certainly managed to make that all work, and some incredible Zord action towards the end of this episode also. So overall, I was certainly a happy camper with the return of Zenkaiger. So thank you very much, guys, for certainly joining us. Just remember, these are just simply our A+ opinions, but at the end of the day, I want to know yours. What did you guys think about episode number 21? Did it work for you? Did it not? Definitely go ahead and let your thoughts be known in the live chat or the comment section box below after this particular video winds up airing. Real quick thing of business, just to kind of get this out of the way, I am going out of town this upcoming Wednesday, tomorrow actually, when you guys watch this. I am going to be out of town for the entirety of the week. I'm not going to get back till next Tuesday, and since I'm going up there to New York City for memorial service for my grandmother, I probably will not be doing a Zenkaiger review until I return. So you certainly will be getting a Zenkaiger review for me. You just might have to wait until in the middle of the week. So just to kind of go ahead and give you guys a heads up. But other than that, guys, let's go ahead and get into episode number 21. As I gotta say, one of the things that I laugh about all the time is how I mention on here that this really is like a toy season to me. The idea of wanting to sell toys, really pushing a ton of power-ups in here. A lot of supers now, if you will. The Zenkaigers have felt just very OP to me. So when I go into this episode and I see that Bokuwas, the leader of the Tojitendo, is not happy at all, complaining about pretty much the same thing that I was complaining about, is like how overpowered some of these Zenkaigers are. Like, they continue to beat us over and over again. Look, there's another upgrade. There's another power up. So I'm glad that even the leader of the Tojitendo is very much aware of what's certainly kind of going on. It's a very, very meta sort of situation, I felt like, when I was watching this episode this week. So I'm glad that he winds up at least putting Barashitar sort of on the spot. And the one thing that I also really appreciated too is you really get to showcase how much they really despise Flint Goldtweaker herself, right? The sister of Zox. She's clearly one-upping them this entire season. I feel like she's been just putting in that work left and right, really pushing the Zenkaigers forward, and the Bokuwas and the Tojitendo are really just sort of reeling right now. So everybody seemed to have like a bone that they wanted to pick with Flint. I don't know if that's something that they're going to try later on in the season also, but I almost got these weird vibes that Gigi might have been like okay with Flint, like the idea like maybe he finds her quite attractive or something like that, but maybe I'm wrong in that regards. But I will say this, the downside of just seeing how upset Bokuwas is and asking his commander or his main general what your plan is, the idea that Barashitara hits him with, oh well, we're gonna send down another monster here to gauge the situation. Like, gauge the situation? What are you talking about? Like, have you not been paying attention the past 20 episodes? What's happened to you guys? You're getting your ass kicked out there, Barashitara. I'm gonna need you to really kind of put in some extra work and make some things happen here, but you want to gauge the situation a little bit longer. I will say this, maybe gauging the situation in this episode worked, because now that you see the big guns that they truly have in this Zenkaiju-Oh of theirs that they reveal at the end, now that you know that, maybe you can make some course corrections and try and figure out some plans. And it seems as though maybe Ijirude does have something up his sleeve. So I'm curious, I'm appreciative of the idea that this man has been working around the clock to try and figure some things out. It maybe has an upper hand or a brand new weapon that he wants to reveal as he winds up getting the assistance of Stacy, who's quite struggling still himself. I mean, we clearly saw him over with Yichan still rather recently, honestly. So now to be put on a mission by Ijirude. I've got a brand new weapon. I want you to use it, sort of thing. I'm gonna be curious to see what Stacy's motives are to want to attack or to be on this mission in the first place. You know, despite his struggles and what he clearly wants in some sort of relationship or connection with Yichan and just that family in general. I am kind of curious to see like what his excuse will be as to why he's kind of going through with this sort of thing. So I'm ready for some deep stuff coming from Stacy here in the next few episodes. But yeah, I will say this, despite the Tojitendo maybe not necessarily being on their at their best right now, I appreciated the monster of the week here, the copy printer machine or the copy machine that they wind up sending down, because it did add to a really fun theme here of doppelgangers, if you will. The idea of being able to create another clone or like another version of yourself, which tends to be the complete polar opposite. So the fact that we got Zenkaiger and Kaiser in here now with like evil clones, evil twins of themselves, I had such a fun time with it. I truly did. And it wasn't so much when they're transformed in Zenkaiger and Kaiser, but it's more or less just seeing the evil Zox and the evil Kaito and like all the crazy and wild antics that they were up to. I mean, we see homeboys sliding down some ropes, stealing, sliding down a wire, stealing paintings. You got them pulling like some Lupin Ranger stuff, like getting caught with the spotlight on them, sort of thing. Stealing some pigs or dressed up really weird. They had a blast. Like outside of all the criminal antics that they wind up doing, these two had a blast. And for me, it was so incredibly fun to just kind of see what these two, if you just completely flip them, or at least maybe just turn Kaito bad, because I think Zox even referenced like, look man, I'm always going to be a pirate. That's why I didn't seem that much more different, because that's almost me right there with you guys, right? So the fact that we see this other side of Kaito and just the sort of combination that these two can make, man, I had such a fun time just sort of watching that. And honestly, I gotta give a quick shout out to the actor that plays Kaito, Kita Komajin. I really loved him in this episode. Like for me, this showed not only how talented he is, but the range that he certainly has, right? Like just based off of how we know him to perform Kaito, yes, we have been able to see him get serious when he certainly needs to, but the idea of being able to see him play like this sort of role, super convincing. I love just that quick sort of turning back into Kaito to kind of make it even more difficult for the Zenkaigers to kind of attack him and things like that. I really appreciate just that quickness of being able to turn it on and off. And for me, it really just highlighted how great of an actor this kid really is. Like, I really would love to see him sort of in that similar role that he just did in here, that evil twin version, in some other type of movie. Like, I really would love to see what else this guy has certainly done in his career, or at least I think maybe he's a newcomer here, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. I think he's a model and an actor, but I don't know if this is like his first big gig or not. You guys let me know if you know more about this particular actor, but I wouldn't mind seeing him in other things. I think this was a great performance, and this was something that really held me over, because I love getting the opportunity to have to see actors do things out of their norm than what we're usually used to seeing them on screen. So I thought his performance in here was really fun and quite impressive. So I really love that fun aspect of this episode. And honestly, when we get to see Kaito, the real Kaito, in here arrested, I actually read somewhere this week that the detective that arrests Kaito in here is actually the suit actor of Zenkaiger. I believe I read that. Now, whether or not that's true or not, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I found that at a pretty reliable source when I read that. So if that's so, that's pretty cool that he winds up getting some screen time here without the mask on. Very well earned, to certainly say the least. Love the amazing jailbreak. When I think of a pirate trying to get out one of his comrades, that's exactly what I think about. So I absolutely really dug that. And even the idea of Kaito's sort of motivation as to why he wants to take down his evil twin, the understanding that this evil twin is using my parents' technology that they created for good and is using it for bad. I gotta appreciate that sort of mentality, you know what I mean? You don't want to kind of stain your family's name or their creation, sort of thing. There's something I can definitely get behind that, you know what I mean? But I gotta say here, man, the biggest aspect of this week's episode that truly floored me was the brand new gears that get introduced, in the sense of the Zenkaiju gears, right? We've already seen them use sort of their brand new super modes and things like that, but there's clearly a hidden gear in there that now allows them to grow giant size, if you will, or at least I should say, Kaito can now grow giants. Zox, unfortunately, with the unfortunate flaw, now winds up turning into the same objects that his brothers are, but he does get to grow as well. So I guess there is a weird sort of unbalanced benefit in there somewhere. But when they activate it, it says Big Bang. So I'm just going to call it the Big Bang mode when they go from their super modes into the gigantic form here and really wind up forming the Zenkaiju-Oh. I love this combination, guys. I do. Clearly taking inspiration from the Time Rangers V-Rex. Much more upgraded here, right? The times have changed. Technology, costume designs, all that stuff has certainly changed to have created a monster, okay? A monster here. When Juro says, oh, this is kind of scary, when Jurin says, yeah, this is kind of terrifying, or this is kind of scary, yeah, it's terrifying. It's like Godzilla on Rambo steroids. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. Unbelievable stuff, and the theme actually I thought went really well with it once it actually forms. So yeah, I was rather impressed. I mean, the destruction that it rains is not only beautiful, but terrifying all at the same time, if that's possible. I absolutely love it. This is certainly one Zord that for me, I will always remember as like one of my favorites. Like I would love to, if I can get a pop figure of it back there, I tell you what, I would have it back there in a heartbeat. Give me a model of it anytime. I would absolutely love to own this. I think it's a really cool design. But I gotta say, just a little bit odd to kind of see this human Kaito all of a sudden change into, you know, like a mechanical monster or whatever the case may be. Poor guy's spear literally goes up his ass to create the tail, which, mind you, the action was fantastic. Seeing the grenades and all, like him just spraying all the buildings and things like that. The really cool, like, sort of tail attack where he turns, but he kicks his tail up into the classic drill spin sort of thing. Great action. I absolutely loved it in here. And I did kind of laugh at the idea that we had buildings that kind of attacked you. It just felt like a, you know, again, another meta move in here, just based off of how many Zords we've seen just completely crash through buildings and just cause so much devastation over the years. Like the fact that the buildings can now fight back, I think is brilliant in this episode. But other than that, quick honorable mention. We did get another gear utilized in this episode, Bioman. This time around, they used the Super Electron attack. Great beam attack, honestly, that really took the copy machine sort of really out of commission. But overall, guys, I thought this was really fun. Again, with the great power up that we wind up getting with the Zenkaiju-Oh. And again, the fact I think that they add specifically that it is a kaiju, it's just the idea of like just these big monsters just raining terror in the city that I just eat up all the time. So it's definitely a theme that I certainly would I definitely do appreciate, and it'll be interesting for me to see how the Tojitendo in fact do bounce back, right? Now that you see how powerful of, you know, new mechas they certainly have and all the upgrades, how are you going to answer them? What's that secret weapon up your sleeve? I think we're definitely going to go ahead and get that next week, so I'm certainly looking very forward to it. But again, these are just my A+ opinions. At the end of the day, I want to know yours. Did you appreciate this episode as much as I certainly did, seeing the range of some of the actors, some of the antics that they were definitely up to, especially with the character like Kaito? You know, you don't really see him in that light so much, so when he does let loose, he knows how to let loose, and I thought that was just a great view, opposite view of that character. But guys, let me know your thoughts in the live chat or the comment section box below. We'll certainly be back late in the week next week, so certainly look out for us then. But until then, guys, do me a big favor. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and as always, keep it A+. Full throttle, non-stop. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.